somehow along this journey of having an Etsy shop, working at my 9 to 5 as a teacher, and also just trying to build my social medias, I have made 900 sales on Etsy. And I'm excited to take you along with me because I want to share the tips and tricks that I feel like got me to this number. So, hi, I'm Daisha, and welcome back to my channel. Also, watch me try to fix these lights and have a little dance party after. On this channel, I'm talking about my small business, and today I'm going to walk you through what I think the three biggest bangs for my buck were as I was trying to get sales on Etsy. So if you've been on Etsy or if you heard anything about it and you're thinking about getting on Etsy, you may hear people talk about how hard it is to get sales. And I see that all the time. I'm in a lot of different Facebook Etsy groups, and people are always asking, like, how did you guys get sales? I've been selling and I haven't got any orders. I've been doing this for a long time, things like that. And I think that a lot of people think it's going to be easy because lots of people do it. And that's not the truth. A lot of people don't have these different milestones. So let me take you along for my first one. The first thing and the biggest thing I can tell you is focus on what actually sells. And of course, when you're getting started, you don't know what that is. So at the end of the day, you have to just get started to be able to start getting some data. But when you start getting data, look at what listings are consistently selling and bringing in orders. Whatever it is that's actually bringing you in money, that's what you need to do and figure out how you can replicate it. What can you do to make it again in a different way where people will want to buy it? Making sure that you're putting your energy into products that have been proven instead of treating every product equally. I'm not going to lie to you. My products are not equal. My stickers are not my annotation kits, right? I need stickers for the annotation kits, but I know that that is not my main focus. So recently I've been wanting to add some more products to my shop, and I've been listening to customers, which we're going to get to that as one of the, things in a minute, but listening to what has been selling, what customers have been asking me for, and that's what I've made. So instead of making more stickers, I recently came out with 3 new annotation kits that are going to be added to the general listing. And then I've also made some bookmarks that are going to be just for book clubs. And I'm super excited about those. And I'm hoping to get them up hopefully, in the next 2 days, but that's not looking too good. But just listening to what actually sells. My stickers don't sell well by themselves. I think people do enjoy them as part of the annotation kit, but most people are not coming to me specifically for stickers. If you're in my shop, it's probably for annotation kits. And I think that's a hard pill to swallow because just because it's something you love making does not mean your customers want it. And that sucks, right? Like there are things I'm like, I loved my little collections that I drew, and maybe one day I'll be able to get to that point. But right now, that's not where we are. So just focusing on what is selling, finding different ways to make it different. We always talk about your unique sales proposition. What makes you different? What makes people keep coming back to your shop? That's what you need to do. So I always think, what am I doing next and why? Like, it can't just be, oh, because this holiday's coming up and I think it'll be cute. Trying to figure out why you should actually do it. So, well, my customers ask for XYZ. This is what I want to get them, which actually leads me into talking point number 2, which is taking feedback seriously. Something that I do is pay attention to the customers and what they're asking for. Now, if it's just like one customer complaining about something, especially if it's just a style choice, I don't really care that much. I'm not going to lie. But if several people are saying the same thing, I'm like, Or if several people are asking for the same customization, then I'm like, maybe I should add this. So I'll try to put everything on the screen. But when I first got started, I only had 4 annotation kits. I had romance, dark romance, I think general, and maybe fantasy. I think those are the ones I had. And pretty much immediately, like the next weekend, I added horror and thriller because I already saw the market for that. So it stayed at those for the longest. Then I added the growth era bookmark. An author reached out to me and wanted a romantasy bookmark. And I'm like, wait, why didn't I think of that? So I added romantasy. Someone reached out to me and they wanted a Bible one. And at first I was like, I don't know, if anybody would want one for the Bible. But then I've had several people be interested in that one. Like they'll just message me and I'm like, hey, I do have this, and I'll send them a picture and they're like, oh yeah, that's perfect. So I'm actually adding that one. That's part of the listing that I was talking about. And then I'm also adding sci-fi and nonfiction because someone asked for that one recently too. So just paying attention to what people are asking for and what I can actually produce that makes sense for the shop is really good because you're listening to what people are asking for. Because if two people ask for it, then that probably means there's a third person searching for it as well. And then also just getting feedback of what also sells. Like I was saying earlier, you don't want to keep making things that are not selling. So choosing those things, watching the behavioral feedback that you're getting from people. Like if there are listings that are always getting favorites, always getting added to cart, always, all these things, that is giving you data. And if there are listings that are quiet that nobody's interacting with, they're never getting any feedback on, that's also telling you something about those listings. And it could be that your keywords just aren't optimized, like you're not putting in what actually needs to be put into find that product, but it also could mean that that's not exactly what somebody else is looking for. So it's also figuring out what it is you need to do. So remember that taking feedback doesn't mean doing everything a customer asks you to do. It just means paying attention to patterns and seeing what makes the most sense for your business. And number 3, which is the thing I cannot talk enough about, and that is marketing and social media. My shop would not be where it is today if it was not for social media. I talk about this all the time, but the very first day I opened, I had posted on Instagram, just kind of dropping tidbits and hints that I was doing this thing. And I was super nervous and super scared. And I didn't know if anybody would buy it from me, right? Luckily, I already had a social media platform before I got started, but that doesn't mean you have to have one to get started. I had one just sharing my love for books, and my shop just happens to tie into that. So I marketed there. And I literally got my first few orders, and I went into the living room where my husband was, and I was just crying. And I said, I didn't think anybody was going to order from me. And he's like, why would you think that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't think anybody would. And I just know that I would not be where I was today if it wasn't for social media. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be that easy for you because, like I said, I'd already built up a following and friendships and things like that. But I'd created this platform over the years. So I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. However, if you're showing up consistently and posting your products, making high quality videos, just short form content of you creating things and packing things, showing them in their, natural light, and just being authentically you and showing how your product fills a need for them, the people will start to come. Especially if you're in a niche where there is a community online, I promise you the people will come, but you can't just give up. My word of the year has been consistency. That's what you have to be able to grow. You can't just post a couple of videos and wonder why it didn't work and move on. Actually doing the things, you know what I mean? Like showing online your process and people getting to know you is going to be the biggest bang for your buck. I promise you, people, especially in the day and age of AI where everything is just fake and artificial, people are craving community and real hands. So showing your hands, making the products, packing orders, explaining, your products, how it's going to help you, demonstrating how to use it. All of these things is going to make it where people build trust with you and want to support you because people want to support other people. I think the greatest difference between my first 100 sales and getting close to coming up on 1,000 sales is that I just treat my business so much differently than I did then. At that point, I was just figuring it out. I was kind of scared that I would give up, honestly, if it was too hard. So I didn't go all in at first, not in terms of my room or anything, but now I've built this, little corner for myself, and I've invested more into my room. I painted it pink because that was like my thing. Like, I'm like, if I'm going to stick to this, then I'll paint the room. If I'm going to do XYZ, then I'll buy the things. And I think being able to just treat this as a full business instead of just my little side hustle has made the biggest shift, like just the mental thing. I think at this point in my journey, I've had enough time to stop reinventing myself and just figuring out what works so you can repeat it, because you don't want to make your life harder. We're not going to keep reinventing the wheel. So if you have a product that works, make related products. If you have a video that works, make another one. Some of the videos that have been doing really well for me are when I start my own book, like starting to read it, and I lay the book out and I put the tabs on there that match the colors of the cover. And then I literally build my own annotation kit. Those videos pretty much do well almost every single time. So every time I start my book, I just show me picking my tabs. It's super easy. It's something I'm going to do anyways. Just set my camera up. If I'm packing an order and I know that it's going to be something popular, like I recently did an annotation kit for the new Akatar book coming out, that's going to be super popular, right? All I did was record me making that kit, and that was the video. So just doing the things that I know over and over. If a listing converts, what do you think what did good about that listing? Remember, you can do A/B tests on listings, so trying out different things. If certain seasons perform well, then prepare even earlier next year, because if they're trending already for whatever time of year it is, you want to be even more prepared. So just whatever it is that does well, repeat it. I feel like I used to think that growth meant that I had to constantly come up with something new, but sometimes it's just recognizing what's already working and getting even better at that. And that's what I feel like I did with my annotation kits. I meant to mention my annotated books in this, but I'll bring it up now. So when I first got started, I only had 4 books, and then I doubled to 8, and then I kept adding to it. But at the end of the day, annotated books are fun, and they are a high price item in my shop. But that's not sustainable for my business because I can only do so many annotated books, you know what I mean, in a week. However, annotation kits, I can make several, in an hour. And I can also get help with that. My husband can help me make annotation kits, but he can't help me make annotated books. So even though I'm still selling annotated books, I'm still updating books to be added. That's not where my focus is, because I know that it's not feasible for me to be able to make, hundreds of annotated books. So we're now officially in the final stretch. I'm headed to 1,000 Etsy sales, and I'm so excited. I still can't believe that somehow I grew this out of this small little room in my house. And I just think that's so wild to me. I think when I opened the shop, that number just seemed so far out of reach. And now it's literally my next milestone. So thank you for always hanging out with me, supporting me, watching my videos. Any advice that you ever take from me, I appreciate you for trusting me with your small business. Anything that you want to know yourself or any questions that you have, make sure you comment them below. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss a video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.